Maggie Rose McEldowney describes the moment she was crowned the 2016 Rose of Tralee as life-changing. Yet, in describing the pageant process, the moment her name was called, and the associated responsibilities that she now manages, this wise young woman remains firmly grounded in her ideals of family, community, and service to others. So tell me about the last night.
32 were on stage, and I felt very confident about how I portrayed myself. So I felt good about the whole experience. So as I stood up there, I was thrilled for whoever was about to win, because she would represent our class for the next year. So I was really moving. I was in the after party where everybody was going to meet up. And
mentally, you're saying, on stage.
Yes. So I was genuinely excited for whoever was going to win it.
How do they come down from the 32? Do they break down to 16?
32 to 1.
And did they say your name first, or did they say your club first?
They said Chicago. He the drum roll went on for what felt like eternity. And then...
Did you even comprehend it when he...
No.
So what'd you do?
I turned and said, did he just say Chicago? And then they started hugging me. And so for me, one of my favorite memories of those very hard to remember moments was watching the first row of girls jump up. And looking back now, it's so nice to know that I had my class behind me. It would ruin it if you won the judges over by being yourself, but your class didn't think that you would best represent them. And I just felt like they wouldn't have shot up like that if they didn't. I mean, that to me is what I'm taking away as like the most important part, was to know that my class was supportive of their decision.
And so you have to come to the front of the stage.
Yeah, and they sang the Rose of Tralee. Nathan Carter came out, which is very exciting.
Well, wait, did they put the tiara on you and all that?
Yes. They pull me into this room. They start doing interviews. You don't even know your name. And they're asking you these important questions that I'd like to properly articulate myself. And instead, I'm just one long sentence. So I'm like, oh God, the country of Ireland's going to think they just selected an airhead. And then we went to a midnight parade, and the whole city's out there.
Did you have to do the elbow, wrist, wave?
I'm still learning. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And you were just bursting with pride, and you have so many questions, and how am I going to do this, and how am I going to represent, and can I do what these girls have done before me, and how do I make this my own? They sat us down. They said, you're welcome to move to Ireland, which I thought about, and then, this is a career here. It's not just a job. It's something that I feel responsible for, so I wouldn't want to just up and leave all the hard work I've done and what the time I've invested into creating the Marist Fund. Also, I wanted to share it with Chicago. The crown has not been back to Chicago in 29 years. So
is the woman who won it 29 years ago still around?
Larna Kanoy lives in Boston, I'm pretty sure.
So you've not had conversation with her?
Not yet. But I know people are trying to connect the dots.
What have you decided is going to be your focus for the rest of this year? Do you know yet?
Well, I still am very passionate about raising awareness for Chicagoland charities. So I'm still in the Young Irish Fellowship Club Chicago. I will still be kind of creating awareness for their events and their fundraisers.
But being the International Rose, doesn't that require a broader scale for you?
It does. So the Hope Foundation, the Chernobyl Children's Project, Down Syndrome Ireland, there are a few charities that the festival has a relationship with over the years. So they kind of introduced me to those, what they do. So I will be heading to India to represent the festival with the Hope Foundation in November. So I'm very excited about that.
What's the biggest challenge so far?
I would say the scheduling and balancing everything, making sure that I'm doing enough for Marist, I'm doing enough for the Rose. As I told you, these women over the past 57 years, they've done the festival so well, they've represented it so well in their respective ways, that I would never want to be the dud Rose. I would never want to be the one that plateaued in terms of creating awareness for foundations. And that was my whole passion in the beginning. So if I don't do it as well as I want to, or as well as I should, that would kill me. So it's a daunting pressure to do enough for the festival while keeping my job at Marist, while seeing my family, while keeping close with my friends. So,
of all your family members, who do you think this means the most to?
My mom's mom had just recently passed, and then my dad's mom has been passed for quite a few years, but she was the one from Derry. So I took their mass cards in my purse to Ireland, and I wanted them to be there because I know that this would mean the world to both of them. I think they definitely had a hand in my experience. It was funny, we had terrible weather the whole festival, and then after I won, it never rained. So I feel like that was my grandma's keeping the weather at bay so we could enjoy our time in Ireland before we went home.
You have a unique perspective on life and your way of setting goals for yourself and what you think is important in life and what you want to achieve. Hold up all your responsibilities and also pay it forward. You've said that several times. Make a difference, help others. Who taught you those life values?
I'm a product of my parents' selflessness. They were at every sporting event. They were helping us with our homework. They were involved in our social life. They were there to listen. They showed us what it means to start giving back to the community. And I think that is how Beverly kind of treats things. If there's a
Beverly?
Beverly is where we grew up. That's my neighborhood. So I think that was not only my parents, but the community that we grew up in. I'm not alone. If you ask anybody in this neighborhood, that's how we were raised. That's how we were taught. So I'm not anything different than anyone from this neighborhood.
Wearing a tiara and a sash, does it make it harder, easier? Does it impact your social life in any way?
My friends know that this is now a huge responsibility, and I think everyone knows that this comes first and foremost. If I have plans with you, but something for the Rose comes up, I have to cancel plans with you, and I think everyone has been so understanding and appreciative of that. I think everyone's just really happy for me to do the best that I can for this, and they all get that.